spirit is the light. Okay, I would like to help people understand the spirit is the light, the soul is the shadow. That's our light and shadow sides. When we talk about the demons and we talk about selling your soul and all that dark stuff, it's really unhealed versions of us in our souls. The demon is us, just like God is us. So you look at God being the light, which is spirit, and then you look at the soul being the quote unquote demon, which is the shadow. When you marry the two together, light and shadow becomes your whole self. That's your authenticity. What most people, majority of people living right now, do not have a marriage between the two. They have their soul that is unhealed or whatever is going on in their soul, but it's separate from the person that you see in the world, and they don't connect with the light that's in them. The hue in the human being is the spirit that's connected to God. That's what keeps us that's what keeps us all the way to connected to God. What we breathe, the spirit of God, that's our light. So that's why everybody has light in them. It's just a matter of what side are they operating from. You can choose to operate from just your soul, which means that whatever is unhealed inside of you is going to reflect on the outside. So for instance, if you have anger management problems, if you're not in a marriage between your light and shadow self, you haven't dealt with that, what's going to happen is it's going to reflect anger. You're going to respond with anger, problematic anger, like physical fighting, cussing someone out, this and that. That's what's going to manifest through your person. Now, if you have made that healing, if you're healed and you've made right with your shadow, which is your soul, and your light is helping you, guiding you too, it's going to manifest as peaceful. So if somebody pisses you off, you're not yelling and screaming, you're talking, because now you've learned how to manage what's not manageable currently, if this makes sense. So what God was telling me to share with you, what I learned, is that there is no separation in self. There's the soul, there's the spirit, and then there's the physical body, which we know is flesh. If you feed the flesh, that's where you're going to have all the lustful situations, all the everything that you do that's not of God, because it's coming from your soul, which is unhealed. And as long as it stay unhealed, it's going to manifest as chaos, as frustration, depression, mental disorder, you name it. But if you marry the light with that, which means you go in and you deal with that trauma that happened as a child. You deal with the things that people have done to you. You walk away from people in your life currently that are not good for you. When you do all of that work in your soul, you now have released all of that negative energy. And you've actually closed out karmic cycles. So karmic cycles is just lessons to help you heal that side. Everything that's not right within your spirit. In your soul. Your spirit is going to marry you with your soul, and you become authentic. But you can't do it if you're not ready, because it's a process. You're going to fall. You're going to have times when you don't hear no responses from spirit, from God, from the Holy Spirit. Nobody is going to talk to you sometimes, and you're going to be like, well, I'm left out here alone. No, that's your time to process. That's that time that you need to reflect on what's going on inside of you. Ask yourself questions. How do I feel today? What is going on with me? If somebody makes you upset, you ask yourself, why did that anger me? What am I holding on to that triggered me into feeling that way? So when you can get past all of these things that are inside of you, then you are now able to handle what comes out in the external world, because we have no control over what happens in the external world, but we have control over what we have, or of ourselves. So if you take care of yourself, then everything else will fall in line, which takes me back to Mary J. Blige versus Mary. I don't have the problem now of trying to figure out why we're not coming together, why this is not happening. That's my soulmate. It's not that. It's bigger than that. We even have people that don't want us to be together just because she's Mary J. Blige. If she was even a normal person or ordinary person, it would still be a problem, because if God brings two people together, nobody wants to see that kind of happiness, because they haven't found it within themselves. So it's not even really about her being a big celebrity or whatnot. It's just the fact that God knows who she is and who I am, and He created us together. This was all divine intervention. I can't take credit for any of it because, like I said, prior to 2024, I've only known of Mary. I learned everything about her through Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, through her higher self, and it showed me things that I needed to work on to help me become better in myself. So even if it doesn't turn into a love relationship, it's a soul connection. And that's what most of these connections we have with each other are. They don't always have to be love. They just teach you things about yourself to help you grow. And so when you realize that, you can now start working on yourself at the soul level, and then start marrying, allowing your soul and your spirit to come together. And that's what makes you a better person. So you're not dealing with demons. You're not dealing with the enemy trying to attack you. It's you. You haven't stopped to look at yourself. You're running from yourself, so it's going to keep chasing you. It's the runner-chaser dynamic. And that's pretty much what the twin flame journey is. Instead of it being me by myself, she's the other version of me. She's the masculine energy of me. See, I wasn't in my feminine energy before, but because I've come in contact with her in the masculine energy, I've now learned how to become my feminine energy self, which is now what makes me goddess of Set on my throne. So this is who I was always meant to be. I was operating from masculine energy because of the way I grew up, the things I had to learn, how I had to manage my own life. Everything caused me to be in do energy. Doer. I had to do. Now I just have to be. And because of this twin flame journey, it's taught me how to just connect with myself on a higher level, and from time to time connect with my soulmate, and we check in. This is all energetic. So the healing work in essence, you're not working alone. You always have somebody. Your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors, God, Jesus. You can call on spiritual guidance and you get it, even in the form of a person. But you'll know when that form of a person is for you, because they're going to come in divine presence. It's not going to be like another human or anything. They're going to have a different way of showing you things. So I kind of stumbled through talking because I was nervous, because I don't really talk about, I write about it all the time, the connection between Mary J. Blige and me, but it's just saying her name makes me nervous, because I know that people are like, what are you talking about? But if she wasn't Mary J. Blige, it would still be the same thing. Unions that God is bringing together are meant to heal the world, show what love really looks like from God's perspective, not what we've always seen and thought love looks like. It has nothing to do with race, gender, sexuality. It has nothing to do with that, because God doesn't look at us as we are. He looks at who He created us to be. And energy is not gender specific. We all have masculine and feminine energy. It's just what complements those energies, because once you get out of these bodies, you're back to being that light, that soul. That's why it's important now, while you're in a physical body, to do whatever you can to heal that soul, so you don't reincarnate and have to replay these same scenarios and go through these same lessons. But that's what this is all about at the end of the day. It's all about self-love, self-healing, and authenticity. Authenticity is the highest form of it all. You got authenticity and you got love. And when you start understanding what that really means, you'll find a lot of peace in your life. And you don't worry about what other people have to say. You don't need validation anymore. You don't feel rejected when somebody tells you that they don't want to be with you anymore. You just know that the time is up. You've learned your lessons and it's time to move on. But anyway, I hope this was helpful and beneficial to you all to understand that there is a separation in people. So what you're looking at from the physical is not what it is. There is a soul connection, there's physical connection, and there's spiritual connections. It just depends on whatever level you're on and where you're operating from. As for me, I operate in my fullness, my soul, my spirit, and physical self, which makes me authentic. So You all take care, be blessed, and love you always. God is set.